Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten. We're at the start of another weekly vlog. Also, if you can hear a lot of background noise, I apologise. Everybody is up and moving around today. Normally it's quite quiet at this time in the morning, but that's not happening today. So we're just gonna have to roll with it because I need to get to work and I do want to get this vlog started. So fingers crossed, it's okay. But I think we can hear my little brother playing with his Nerf gun. So we're just going to roll with it today. So we're going to make this quite short, but if you were watching last week's video, you would know that I am in the middle of two books and I am enjoying both of them. So the one that I have basically been non-stop reading since I picked it up is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Gerber. I am absolutely loving this book. Underneath the Dust Jacket is absolutely stunning, and I literally have 60 pages left. I was going to finish it last night, but I was like, you know what, I really should sleep instead, seeing as I do have work today. It's just really good. I really like it. It is a continuation from the Carvel series, which was a bit of a surprise because I kind of expected a prequel, but we're continuing on from it and we are following Evangeline, who is this really lovely person who has always believed in love at first sight and everything like that. Like, her parents had this beautiful love story and she's always believed that she will get the same until the person that she loves goes to marry somebody else, and so she goes to Jack's to try and get some help in stopping the wedding, and of course things go terribly wrong, and all of that kind of takes place just in the middle, well, just at the start of Finale, which is the last book in the Carvel trilogy, and then it continues on after that book. So I quite like where the timeline places it, and we're following Evangeline as she goes to the magnificent north, which she has heard so many tales from because that's where her mother is from, and she is in love with this place, and I have to admit it is magical and lovely. There is tiny dragons, there is vampires, there is just so much whimsy, and we're going to the north because the Prince of the North needs to dance every single night until he chooses his princess and queen to be. I think it's really lovely. It kind of reminds you a little bit like Cinderella-esque in that sort of story, and I just think this book is very much like a whimsical fairy tale, a lot more than Carvel. I really enjoyed that trilogy, but that's definitely more like we're in a game setting, it's got some high stakes and stuff. This one definitely feels more like an actual fairy tale, which I don't mind, and it does remind me of like Six Crimson Cranes that I've just finished. It's along those sort of vibes. So I think if you go into it expecting something a bit more like the Carvel series, some people haven't enjoyed it as much, but I didn't go into it expecting that. I had no expectations, and I am just loving the fairy tale whimsy vibe of this. Of course, the emphasis on clothing that Stephanie Gerber normally has. I just think it all works so well. So I'm actually really enjoying this, and I feel like because I've only got 60 pages left, this is going to end on a cliffhanger and I'm going to be desperate for more. And of course I won't be getting that anytime soon. Am I kind of gutted that I started this book so soon, as in like the day it was published? Yes, because I know I'm going to be left wanting more, but also no, because it has just been a really heartwarming book to come home to after a long day at work and just get lost in this world that Stephanie Gerber has expanded upon, and I'm really enjoying it, and I enjoy Jax as a character, so loving this and plan to finish this tonight. And then the other book that I'm reading is Pride, Prejudice and Zombies, which takes the original Pride and Prejudice story and mixes in some zombies instead. I can say that this book is absurd. I actually started this at the end of September. I decided to start my TBR early, and this was the book to read because I didn't finish my September TBR. And I can say that it is a fun time. I definitely don't prefer it to the actual original classic. These are the Quirk classics, which takes those classic stories, puts a comical twist on them. But I am a massive fan of making classics more accessible, and I said this last week. I do plan on continuing on and finishing this once I have finished Once Upon a Broken Heart. I can say out of the two I'm much preferring this book, but I have to admit this is something very light, very easy, and I don't have to follow along too much because I already know the plotline to Pride and Prejudice, which makes this a very easy read. So if you're looking for something that has zombies in to go along with this Halloween season that we are in, but is also absolutely hilarious, then this might be the one for you. But that is literally all the thoughts that I have on this book. So like I said, I am planning to finish this week, so we'll hopefully get that done. I'm pretty much halfway through the book, so fingers crossed I'll get that done. So that's the plans, to actually finish the 2 books that I started last week, and as for the rest of the week, I've got no idea. Genuinely no idea. Apart from working, I haven't made any plans for this week, so guess you guys are going to come along with me and see what I get up to. But that's it. I'm going to go to work because I need to get started. My brother seems to have gone quiet for the duration of this, so thank you very much. And yeah, I'm going to get to work and we'll see what the week brings. Good morning. It is definitely another autumn day. It is windy and potentially rainy. It is so overcast, but enough of the weather talk. Instead, let's talk about the book that I finished, which was Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Gabar. Yeah, I loved this. It was 4 stars. I really did enjoy it. I had to admit I was a bit dubious going into it. I wasn't sure if I would like it because I haven't been feeling YA fantasy lately, and I was a bit like, am I going to find this a bit too predictable? But I can actually say I really adored it. I loved the fairy tale whimsy quality to this book and the story with Jax and Evangeline and the ending, and it was just so good. It's definitely left me wanting the second book, which unfortunately we have no release date yet. So I've got no idea when that's going to be, but gosh, do I want it now. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed looking into Jax more as a character and seeing what's happened to him after the events of finale. Also learning about Evangeline and this person that wants nothing more than to believe in magic and have hope that love is real and out there and waiting for her, which I just think is absolutely wonderful. Parts of this were predictable, but I really enjoyed just the overall fairy tale quality to this book, which I just thought was perfect. So yeah, really liked this, 4 stars, and can't wait to get the second book. So because I finished that on Tuesday evening, I then spent yesterday reading more of Pride, Prejudice and Zombies. I have just under 100 pages left to go, which I am planning to finish up tonight. And I have to admit, I am enjoying the chunk that I've just read more than the first half of the book, and I think that's genuinely because there's just less zombies in it, and so there's a lot more focus on the actual Jane Austen work of Pride and Prejudice, which I love. I really like that story. I think it's a really good book, and so because we've had less of the zombie mentions, I've been a lot more invested in this storyline. But I do think it's interesting how they've adapted the story to include the zombies. So we have the Bennet sisters that have been raised to combat the zombies and help protect Hertfordshire, and then we do have the Darcys and the Bingleys come in. Now the Bingleys don't have any of these qualities at all, but the Darcys are known to be very proficient zombie slayers. It's just really interesting how this story has been woven into with this comedic zombie side of things as well, which I can appreciate. I don't necessarily enjoy because I do think it detracts from the original story, but I can appreciate what it has done. Though, as I said in last week's vlog, there are aspects of it that are just so absurd, and I'm just like, is this actually something that can be physically accomplished? Because I'm not sure. But I do like it, and of course the actual story between Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy is such an iconic story, and I love the way that they are trying to overcome each other's pride and prejudice against one another at this point, and how the zombies has also gone in between that and caused the miscommunications between these two characters. So I thought that was, in parts it has been done well, it's just not necessary to what I would like. But yeah, can't fault it overall. Well, I can, but that's because I'm picky and I prefer the original classic. But that's fine. But yeah, so I plan on finishing that tonight, and then I will probably start another book, which I did say on my TBR video that the book that you all picked for me to choose from, because I always leave 2 books for you to choose between, would be the first book that I read, because I had 2 books that I have had on TBRs previously and just never got round to, and so I said I'd read that first, which obviously hasn't happened because I've read 2 different books instead. So instead I think I'm going to pick that one up next, which is The Diviners, most likely. If I change my mind, then we'll see, but I will definitely be getting it read at some point. I promise, this time, definitely. As for what I've been up to, Tuesday, Wednesday was just working. I really didn't do anything else in the evening apart from come home, relax, edit videos, the usual stuff. And then today my sister is coming over and I think we're going out for lunch. She did originally say Central London, but it is very cloudy out there, which is also why my lighting has gone terrible yet again. Apologies, but it is really, really cloudy out there and I just don't know if it's going to rain. So we'll see if she's changed her mind or if she still wants to go. But as always, I'll bring you guys along with me. And other than that, I literally have no plans because we're back to work. So it's back to the usual routine, which, speaking of which, actually I do need to take some bookstagram photos. So we best go do that. So yeah, I will catch up with you in a bit, hopefully having finished Pride, Prejudice and Zombies, which, as much as I have been griping about the zombie aspect of it, it does make the overall story a very easy read. So this is something that I can just chill out to, so it's not terrible. And then potentially starting another book, which should be The Diviners, but will I stick to it? We don't know. Actually, you know what? I thought I would show you how I set up my bookstagram photos. So I have my bullet journal, which is where I put down all the ideas for the month that I want to take of the different photos, which I am starting this a little bit late in October, but that's okay. I had a lot because I've definitely started slowing down how often I post to Instagram, because I just feel like I was very much forcing myself to do it every day, and now it's more like 3, maybe 4 times a week, which feels a lot more natural and I feel happier doing it that way. But yeah, so I have all my ideas that I want to do in my bullet journal, and then I get out all the books that I want to photograph relating to the ideas. So for instance, this stack is Black Spine classics that are classed as gothic or horror classics, and then I have different authors that have done horror books, a bit of poetry, which is definitely a book that I want to read soon, and then just some other random ideas that I have. Then I'll put it together over here. So we use these pages, which are literally from a book that I had that was falling apart, so I thought I would use it for my photos, and then I lay it out how I want. What I'll probably do is put a photo up here of how it ends up looking, and it's just something where I've been playing around with it for a while, not been feeling very confident in my photos and what I wanted to do, trying to find my look, but I think that's where I was putting too much pressure on myself. So now I just have this very relaxed setup, and this is pretty much all I do. The occasional ones will be different for the videos if I'm doing my wrap up or hauls or things like that. If they're stacked with books, that gets pictured somewhere else, but we're not doing any of those photos today. But this is how I do the majority of my books. That's it. I don't know whether you guys are actually interested in that, but I thought it would be nice to actually show you, just in case you are interested in how I take all of my photos for bookstagram. That being said, I do need to go and take them, and yeah, now I will definitely go, and we'll catch up in a couple of days. Good morning, and I just want to say how fabulous you all are. You guys have supported me so much, and today I woke up to over 700 subscribers, which is just amazing. I genuinely can't believe that this many people want to sit there and watch my videos and just me chat about books. So thank you so much to each and every one of you that takes the time to watch these videos, comment, like and subscribe. It's just so lovely. It's turning something that I do as a hobby into something that I just feel like I'm just so connected with so many people, and it's just beautiful to be a part of an awesome community, especially when it hasn't exactly been the best couple of years. So yeah, it's been absolutely amazing, so thank you so much. But now that that is out the way, because You guys deserve to be praised because you're all amazing, and just to remember that, let's actually update with what I've been doing. So Thursday I did go shopping with my sister. It was a really fun time and we did lots and lots of basically just window shopping, just looking around, seeing what we got up to. I did get my nephews some clothes, which I can't believe they're turning a year, like that's so cute. But yeah, got them some clothes and stuff for Christmas, and we also had dinner together, and it was just really nice just have a little catch up. We haven't done it in a while. And I also finished Pride, Prejudice and Zombies. Yeah, 3 stars. I liked it, but I have to admit the parts that I liked, as I've mentioned before, were the parts without the zombies, which was just Pride and Prejudice really. The parts with the zombies did make it a really light, fun read, definitely something of a comedic value in there, and I do think it's a good one if you're interested in getting into classics. But yeah, overall I think 3 stars. It's one of those ones that I would gravitate towards if I'm wanting something just really light, easy to read and not too much to focus on. It fulfills that quite well for me, especially because I already know the story behind Pride and Prejudice. But a good one I think for this October time to have classics with a dash of zombies, because you know, it works. And then obviously yesterday I was working, but I did start The Diviners by Libba Bray, and oh my god, I can't believe I've put this off. I am in love with this book. It has got a perfect gothic atmosphere to it. I am enjoying it so much. So we're following our main character Evie, who's always felt like she's a bit of an outcast and doesn't know where she belongs. In this small town in Ohio, she's always felt too big for it and she's always gotten into trouble. Now it's one too many times and she's been shipped off to Manhattan to stay with her uncle. Don't know why I thought this was taking place in New Orleans, but it's not, it's New York. But when she gets there, she is seeing his museum of curiosities and oddities, and she's not really sure. Now I've only read the first 100 pages, but these 100 pages are obviously setting up for the fantasy. And would it even be fantasy? Because I feel like it's not. It is, but it isn't at the same time. I just feel like it's a bit like The Beautiful, where we have this lifestyle that Evie's following, feeling like she's trying to push against things because, you know, she's a modern woman, and in the 1920s they've got this whole movement of, you know, creativity and dreams and wanting to make things of themselves, and Evie's adamant she is going to be one of those people. But alongside that you have this seedy undertone to it, which I really am enjoying. But this 100 pages is just setting up that. Now we also are following a different perspective, which is Memphis, and he and his brother are living with their aunt, and he's trying to provide for his brother as best he can, but he is a bit of an apprehensive character. You don't know too much about him, he's a bit secretive and stuff, and then you discover something about him that he just wants to ignore, doesn't want to think about, like, or even admit that it's a reality. It's really interesting. And then there's also a third sort of perspective that you get every so often from this malevolent creature, and it's all just building up. So we're just getting a lot of atmosphere going on, building up the setting of our characters, and a lady has just been murdered, so things are definitely going to start speeding up here. And we're following different people with different gifts as well, but they don't want to admit to these gifts because obviously it wasn't too long ago that people were persecuted for these sort of things. So it's really interesting. It's definitely got some witchy vibes going on, the darker feels to it, and the grittier lifestyle as well. I'm really enjoying this. I can't believe I didn't pick it up. So thank you to everyone that voted for The Diviners, and of course to Kris from Kris Reads, because she has been on my case for a little while to read this book, and yes, I am, and I am so pleased I am, and I can't believe I put it off because I'm really enjoying it. As said, I'm only 100 pages into it, and it is a over 400 pages, yeah, almost 500 pages, so we've got a little while to go, but I'm really excited for it, and I just can't wait for the vibe. And like I said, it's given me, the atmosphere is very similar to The Beautiful so far, especially now with the emergence of this murder that's taken place, and this woman is missing her eyes and everything, and it's really quite gruesome. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't know what that says about me, but I am enjoying this book. So yeah, that is what I'm going to continue reading over the weekend. I doubt I'm actually going to get it finished, but I would love to because I'm really enjoying this, and if it carries on this way I'll definitely be getting the rest of the books in the series because yes. But today I do have work. My mom's actually coming into work because she needs some new glasses, so we're going to help her get some of those. And then I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. Me and my partner are seeing each other, but we're not sure what we're actually going to do. Knowing us, we'll probably end up in central London yet again, but we'll see. Oh, also, if you've noticed, I am wearing these absolutely gorgeous little earrings. My other sister has been talking about this place called Earring Joy for absolutely ages and how much she loves the earrings. And I just thought, you know what, why don't I try some? And they have so many cute little ones like these little fans. And I was like, okay, they're kind of cool. Plus they're really cheap. They're only £3 and she ships worldwide. So I'll have her linked below in her Instagram and her shop because I just think they are really, really good. She sells out really quickly. She did this whole Halloween thing, but I completely missed that. But she does do restocks every so often and she announces all of it on her Instagram as well. I just absolutely love them. I also got some Sailor Moon ones as well, which so cute and love those, but I'll show you those another day. Right, I need to go get to work, but I think I'm just having such a good week. Like I feel so like, yes, it's autumn and I'm just feeling so like, yeah, I want to read things and I want to go out and do stuff, and obviously reaching that mile of 700 subscribers was just so good. So yeah, I am very much having a good week and I hope you all are having a good week too. But as usual, I am in ramble territory and I do need to get to work, so let's catch up after the weekend. Shockingly, I finished The Diviners. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed this. This was 4 stars and I have to admit I read the majority of it yesterday. It was just so good. I loved the atmosphere in this book. I thought the actual setting of 1920s Manhattan was really, really well done, and it was kind of enhanced by the language the characters would use, and it just made you really picture it, especially with some of the things that were happening in the background. So you had the probation of alcohol and all the speakeasies and the fact that, you know, all these people that were going to nightclubs and having alcohol and stuff would get arrested because it wasn't legal during that time. You also had a mention of the Chinese, it's kind of like the segregation of them because they were brought over to do some work and then their families and that were no longer allowed to come over. It was this whole big thing that happened. I think that was really good to have that mentioned in here. We also follow Memphis, who is our black male character, and you see the struggles that he deals with for being black when he starts getting a love interest, the complications of that because she is white. And I just thought all of that was handled really well and it was just seamlessly put in. It wasn't like a neon light, like look at this and all of this, like look at what I'm including. It was very much woven into the story and just made you feel like you were in that time period, which I think worked perfectly. This ended up being very strong occult themes, which I really liked. Perfect for this time of year. The ending was a lot more supernatural based than what I was expecting, but I think that worked really well. And it also meant I got to use it for the supernatural prompt in the magical readathon hosted by G over at Book Roast. I was very pleased with. I'm glad to have ticked another one off that list. But yeah, this was really good. A solid 4 stars. I'm really excited to continue on with the next one. Everything that was done really well. Even Evie, our main character, she is flawed. She is not, you know, this perfect heroine, but I like that because again it makes her feel so much more believable. There's also mystery surrounding each of these characters. They're all searching for something or wanting revenge on something, which I just thought worked really well, kept the intrigue high, and it still leaves it with enough questions that you want to carry on to the next book. So yeah, really enjoyed this. Obviously trigger warnings because there are ritualistic murders that are happening in this book, as well as harm of animals and stuff. Like there was a lot, and it definitely has a lot of like witchy vibes, the occult themes, and I just think it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Very atmospheric, very well written. Would highly recommend. So yeah, can't believe I put it off for so long, but I'm pleased I finally read it, and yeah, really excited to see what happens in the next book, especially with everything that's going on around the Diviners. It's building up to something, and while what happened in this book was a big event, it is also not the big event that everyone is talking about, so that just makes me more intrigued as to see what is going to happen. So yeah, very good. So speaking of that, on Saturday didn't really do anything apart from work. Went to my partner's house when he finished work, and yeah, that was it really. Then Sunday we did go up central London as per usual, did our usual wander around Forbidden Planet, Lush, had some boba, the usual stuff, and I also decided to sit down and just chill out and read The Diviners in Hyde Park because the evening ended up being really nice, actually quite warm, so it was really nice just to chill out and relax, and yeah, it was very much needed. I really enjoyed it. And then of course I stayed up late to finish The Diviners, which was definitely worth it. But it is the end of this weekly vlog, so I am going to wrap it up here. I hope you all are having an amazing week, whatever you are getting up to, and yeah, it's the start of a new week for me. I've got no idea what I'm going to be reading, so I guess we'll find out in next week's vlog, but my throat is sore, so I'm going to stop talking. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to give it that thumbs up and subscribe. Comment to let me know that you're here. Once again, a massive thank you to everyone for supporting this channel and getting me to over 700 subscribers. I very much appreciate it. But as said, I am going to go, so social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next video.